Hello. I would like to tell you some of my experiences about being faithful disciples of Jesus and good stewards of the gifts that God has given us. This involves our spending, our saving, and our giving according to our true capacity. For over 3 generations, our family has owned a manufacturing business. Each year, we have gone through a process of creating an annual budget for the upcoming year. We would start the process with a meeting of our upper management team to review how we were doing in the current year and the general outlook for the year ahead. Then our managers would take the next several weeks to put together specific plans for the company's projected revenue, expenses, investments into the business, increase to our savings, and the amount to give out to the owners. When we came back together to hear and discuss their specific plans, the managers would usually present us plans that were cautious and conservative, even though they were very capable, successful people. They would usually project sales growth that was below the previous year's growth rate. They proposed increasing expenses in areas like payroll, utilities, materials and supplies, insurance, health care, maintaining existing facilities, and taxes. And they usually projected smaller profits. They wanted easy goals to achieve that did not reflect their true capacity to deliver. We typically had to challenge them to set higher goals, and we adjusted their proposals to be more optimistic and more careful in their spending. The organization over the years was financially sound, it grew, and we experienced success. The church teaches us and practices the same principles and lessons. In the excellent book, Choose Generosity, Discovering Whole Life Stewardship, created by the presiding bishopric of the church and endorsed by the First Presidency, 6 principles of generosity are given. These principles make up the concept of whole life stewardship, making all that we do be part of giving back to God with gratitude and thankfulness. In particular, saving wisely and spending responsibly for the future enable more acts of generosity to follow. When we spend responsibly and save wisely, we end up with little or no debt, we become financially stable and strong, and end up with surplus savings. This can result in greater capacity to give than we previously thought. On a personal level, my wife Kathy and I saved a portion of our income each year. We did not spend it all. Our savings accumulated over time and gave us financial security and the ability to give more to the mission of Christ, both locally and to worldwide mission tithes. But a few years ago, when we heard the call for us to give according to our true capacity, we had to think about what that meant for us. Kathy and I were already giving to the church locally and to the church's worldwide mission tithes because we firmly believe in the church's mission. But what is our true capacity to give? Have you thought about what your true capacity to give is? We came to realize that our capacity to give is higher than the level that we were giving, and that we should increase our tithing. At first, we were afraid to stretch further, but we stepped out in faith and started to give more of our annual income than in previous years. We discovered that our capacity to give was more than we thought. We really could give more without eroding our financial security. The pure joy that we have experienced by giving more generously is priceless. What is your true capacity to give? Words of counsel to the church in 2019 state, members, congregations, and church jurisdictions are called to live the stewardship principles and practices already given to you. I invite you to live the stewardship principles that include spending responsibly, saving wisely for the future, and deciding what your true capacity to give to the mission of Christ is, and then doing it. Then you will know the promise in Doctrine and Covenants, section 163, paragraph 9, to be true. Eternal joy and peace await those who grow in grace and generosity that flows from compassionate hearts without thought of return.